Good morning on this sunny Thursday morning from Barrio Capitolio, Pasig. I'm greeting you. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. Welcome to the program Agenda. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much to our subscribers of Cignal TV all over the Philippines, from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. And of course, thank you to our friends abroad and people who try to catch us or watch us regularly on Facebook and of course YouTube. We appreciate your effort. We appreciate your support. May God reward you for your kindness. Now today is March 9, 2023, Thursday. Good morning to my friend Wilson. Hindi ko na po sasabihin kung sino sa inyo yung Wilson, but good morning for regularly watching the program. And today, March 9, 2023, we will be talking about a particular business concept related to education, related to tuition fees, etc. I don't think it will be the usual boring stuff that many think of it, because this one may be a solution for those of you. I'm not saying, hindi pa ako sigurado, interviewin natin sila, but it may be a solution for families who are worried about education, the cost of education. Like in my case, the only way I was able to address the matter was binenta ko lahat ng kotse ko. A lot of my friends are wondering, what happened to all of your car projects? I sold them all and I sent my daughter to college, okay? My priority will always be the well-being of my family, and I hope you do likewise. Okay, let's now go to our, by the way, allow me to say thank you to PLDT, Home Fiber Optic Internet, Mr. Marco Borlongan. Thank you for your continued support. Okay, let's go to our daily starter for today, and it comes from the book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 6. Okay, and this is a good reminder para sa inyong mahilig uminom ng tubig na tawag ay agua de pataranta. Okay, do not be anxious. Okay, huwag kayong mag-aalala about anything. Do not be anxious about anything. Huwag kayong nag-aalala sa sobrang daming bagay. But in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Okay, yeah, that is from Philippians 4:6. And I just want to emphasize on that. Many people take prayers and supplication for granted. Kumbaga, yung pagdadasal, pananampalataya, pag-alay sa Panginoon, we take that for granted, and in this modern day and age, that becomes the last option. But believe you me, I know so many big businessmen, I know so many CEOs who learned to pray, who discovered the power of prayer, who used prayer as their final option, and now have come to realize that it should be their first action of the day. Marami po dyan, yung mga big time, mga siga-siga, mga astig, ika nga nila, na dati self-reliant, who always said, I will acquire my power, my riches, my wealth with my bare hands or with my own skills. Nung COVID po, the great equalizer, many of us discovered that we need God, and when all else fails, all you have is God, and when you have God, you have everything. So yun po, no? Don't worry. And in order to avoid worrying, make sure that your first action of the day or first action in any plan or action is prayer. Okay, like this morning while I was preparing for the program, binibuisit na naman ako ng demonyo. You know, he always puts thoughts in your mind. Oh, worry about this, anxious, etc. You know what I do, my dear friends, viewers? I play praise music, okay? Kumbaga, don't get mad, get even. Every time the devil or, spirits try to disrupt my life, ayun, I pray praise music. Eh, sabihin, ako, nagpapastor na yata si Cito Beltran. Hindi pa po. Sana, okay. Anyway, let's go to our review of the front page of the Philippine Star. Today, March 9, 2023, Thursday, the headline goes, "The end is near." Ngek, nito. Okay. Department of Justice on Degamo probe declares the end is near. Malapit nang magtapos yung kaso. They are about to end the investigation. The case being solved is near because the suspects who were arrested have all pointed to a certain individual. And according to Secretary Remulla, he read their statements, and apparently there is a video showing them meeting with the mastermind. Okay. And yun po. And apparently there is also some statement being issued by a politician saying that he is being connected to the murder. So, yun po, we will leave it at that. I will not comment on that politician, but that's what I told a number of my friends yesterday. I have a funny feeling, I have a sad feeling that this murder of the governor of Negros Oriental was actually politically connected. So, photo there at the center of the Philippine Star, you have President Marcos visiting the wake of slain Negros Oriental Governor Roel Degamo in Dumaguete City yesterday. The president reassured Degamo's widow, Pamplona Mayor Janice Vallega Degamo of justice. Yan po. So, that's the main headline. Now, let's go to the top of the front page. The header, Marcos thanks operators for ending transport strike. Okay. What was supposed to be a 1 week long transport strike only lasted 1 day, and the president reassured the drivers and operators that no one will be left behind because of the transport modernization. They will find ways and means for everybody to be able to buy their own vehicles. And the president's vision is, sana po, magkatotoo, is that the transport modernization will be based on electric vehicles. Okay, below the header, we have photos of police, women, and women protesters along España Boulevard yesterday in the city of Manila, where the women were calling for gender equality, inclusive society, while celebrating or observing International Women's Day. Meanwhile, we have a story. Another Taugama fratman surrenders. Another person of interest in the death by hazing of John Matthew Salilig surrendered to the NBI yesterday. Aaron Cruz, one of the frat men tagged in the death of Salilig, was seen entering the building of the NBI head office yesterday. Okay, so ayan po, isa-isa na nagre-report na sila sa NBI, sa PNP regarding the death by hazing that took place. Okay, then we have a story, government to speed up oil clean up. Okay, BBM declares government to speed up oil spill cleanup in Oriental Mindoro, and they aim to finish it in less than 4 months. Okay, the president also assured the affected residents that they will all be hired as part of the cleanup crews because many people cannot go fishing because the fishing has been banned in the affected area. Meanwhile, collective deterrence versus Chinese sea aggression pushed. Yesterday, experts urged the government to consider coordinating with allies and engage in a united response against Chinese aggression in the West Philippine Sea. I believe that is already taking place. Okay, photo at the lower left portion of the Philippine Star. SM Supermall's President Stephen Tan joins Philippine Commission on Women Executive Director Christine Yuson Chavez, Vice President Sara Duterte, UN Nations Resident Coordinator Gustavo Gonzalez, and UN Women Philippines Country Program Manager Lenlen Messina during the International Women's Day event at SM Ora Premier. Meanwhile, President Bongbong Marcos eyes permanent Kadiwa stores nationwide. Nako, sana magkatotoo. Sana po every barangay, every municipality, and every city outside of Metro Manila, particularly, will have a pamilihang bayan or kadiwa store where farmers can bring their goods while locals can buy locally grown products para po wala na masyadong transport cost and carbon emission related to the transport of agricultural products. Okay, a photo on the right bottom part of the Philippine Star, very old photo featuring the first, Botica de Zobel, in 1834, that was founded by pharmacist Juan Andres Zobel in Calle Real, Intramuros, It found a new life through Generica Drugstore. Ayun, kumbaga, di ba? Yan yung nasa litrato po, yan yung butika noong panahon ng ninuno ninyo. Okay? But now, it is now taken the form of Generica Drugstore, a member of Ayala's healthcare arm. Okay? Last but not the least, we have UN Rights Chief airs concerns over Philippines. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk stated the concerns in the Philippines and 39 other countries. Hindi lang naman tayo, 39 other countries, so 40 countries in total are under the watch of the UN Human Rights Commission because of various problems. Okay, so Gabriel, are we going to roll out the Betamax or are we going to go for a break? We will go for a break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, our topic for today is education related. It has a financial component. It may be a solution or an option for many of you who have children or relatives you want to send to school, but are worried about the cost of education kasi po sa totoo lang, grabe talaga. Okay, hindi ako nagyayabang. It is just part of our me and my wife's commitment to help certain individuals. Nung nag-research po kami regarding the cost of education for nursing, in a state university, meaning a public college university, the cost would be $500,000. Okay? And if we send a student for nursing in a private university, it would be over 1.1 million when you put together all the components involved. Medyo talagang ninervyos po ako kasi nabenta ko na lahat ng kotse ko sending my daughter to school. Baka ibebenta ko pa pati panabong ko just to help another scholar go to college. We will find out if our guest can help us answer questions on this issue. Let's roll out the Betamax, Gabriel.
John Bellosillo is the Executive Director and Head of Growth at the Bukas.ph Corporation, a company geared towards making higher education affordable for Filipino students. He is also the Head of Dual Transformation Management and Head of Planning of iPeople Incorporated.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Bellosillo. John, welcome to the program Agenda. How are you doing this morning?
All good, Cito. Good morning, and thank you for the time this morning.
Okay, well, I've already done the intro. Was I wrong or was I right?
Just a slight change. So I used to be with iPeople before I joined Bukas.
Okay.
So now I'm currently with Bukas. We started in 2019 with a handful of schools in February 2019, and now we're on over 100 campuses nationwide.
Okay, give us a little background on who or what is Bukas Finance all about?
Hey, I think the dream is we want to help students get access to quality, especially at the start, tertiary education, so that they have access to better options for their jobs and careers in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vision or dreams, like, if we're able to help them get better jobs and better careers, then they'll be able to help uplift their families, right? And give better lives to their siblings and future generations for their families. So we started, actually, the Philippines is like a little brother or little sister of a bigger company in Indonesia. So our sister company, Dana Cheetah, started earlier, I think 2 years earlier than us. And bringing what we've learned in Indonesia, we also try to save the same problems in the Philippines.
Okay. And so, could you give us stories of how this happened? Because I was just taking notes of what you were saying. So, when the how do you call it? The genesis of this all.
Okay. So the genesis started in 2019. It was an idea from our founder, Nagatan, who's CEO of our group company in Singapore called Erudify.
Okay.
And he said, given his experiences in Indonesia, that he wanted to also solve the same problem in the Philippines. How can we make quality education more accessible to many Filipinos who want to study and want to make their dreams come true? So he collaborated with our now president, J.R. Emlano, and started the groundwork in talking to many different schools then. So schools like FEU, Mapua, JRU, which were our original partners at that time. So then they put up the company in February and started, visiting the schools, talking to the realities about the students in the Philippines, because it's also very different, a very different market dynamic versus Indonesia. So
in what sense? What's the difference?
I think in the Philippines, if you look at it from a career perspective, we're very degree driven. In order for us to get better access to jobs, quality jobs, you have to have a college degree. Sabi nila in the Philippines, even in roles in other countries that don't require a college degree, you still need a college degree in the Philippines.
Like selling hamburgers and French fries.
Yes, at times, yes. So everything here mostly needs a degree. Otherwise,
which is ironic because, like in the United States, 16-year-old, a 14-year-old in high school can get a job working in a fast food chain and can even be an out-of-school youth. And here,
yes.
I don't want to say bad words or put down HR people, but, everybody looks for a degree.
Yes.
Okay.
In Indonesia, it's a bit different. They're more open to skills-based education, non-degree skills-based education, and English language learning is also a big thing there. Which is, of course, a natural advantage for us in the Philippines.
Okay, you said skills-based, John. Okay, well, does this mean technical skills? Because yesterday I was in conversation with a physician, Dr. Isa Suntay, and we were comparing notes about the fact that, she mentioned that in the Philippines, we have put down vocational skills. Kumbaga, ini-small na natin yung mga may vocational skills like tubero, electrician, carpentero, so nilayasan na tayo.
Yeah, so technical skills can be VocTech related, like what you've mentioned, and technical skills in the field of IT, like data science, software engineering, where in reality, you may not really need a degree to start a career in these professions, or even like digital marketing, right? Like companies like Google abroad started to hire students or people without these degrees, but we have the necessary portfolio or body of work or skill certificate. In fact, Google even has their own certificate program that will allow you to be hireable without a degree.
Okay, so in Indonesia, it is more technical orientation, competency, skills. But here's the part where I see the disconnect. So your founder or the founder of this business is from Indonesia and set it up in Indonesia. So what was the challenge that both the Philippines and Indonesia have in common?
Common is we need education to succeed in life.
Okay.
Whether it's let's say the market dynamics of Indonesia, it's more open. Of course, they also have degree programs. They're open to non-degree, but you need the relevant education to have a good job and improve your career. In the
Okay.
Philippines, it's the same thing, but it's very skewed to having degrees, right?
Okay.
So it's really solving. If I give this person quality education, then I might be able to help him have a better career and help his family. So it's the same concept in terms of principles, but we just
Okay.
play with very different dynamics.
Okay, so where does the issue of affordable education come in? I mean, we know that in the Philippines, it's not just unaffordable. For many, it's already an impossibility.
Yes. So
Is it the same in Indonesia?
yeah. So the problem that we're solving in particular is students find it expensive to go to school, and expensive means it's expensive to pay in cash everything up front, and it's also expensive to pay the installment plans of a school, right? So how can what if we can make it more bite-sized, right? Their payments per month, and make it less than what you're paying your school. But at the same time, we're able to channel your payments directly to the school. So, for example, if the tuition fee and miscellaneous fees of the school is 100 pesos, Bukas will pay the school for you. Then you pay us in 12 months instead of paying, if it's a semester, only for 4 months or 5 months for that school. So we make it sashayed in a way for you.
So, certain memories come back to mind, particularly the CAP educational plan. Okay. Now, am I correct in observing that with CAP, you make the installment payments and collect later, and with your company, you basically pay for the tuition upfront to the school, and your students and their family pay you the monthly.
Yes. So I think maybe CAP and other pre-need, it's like you, if I'm not mistaken, you invest in it for a longer time period, then you cash in for it for your for college, let's say. Usually that's what happens. What happens. But what we do, for example, right now, you want to study in one of our school partners, you apply for a Bukas tuition fee installment plan with us, and then we approve, then we disburse directly to the school, and you start paying us roughly a month later in the installment for 12 months.
So it's go to school and pay as you go.
Yes, in a way, or pay in less amounts starting 1 month later.
Okay, pay. Now, how is it engineered or worked out that it becomes affordable? Because you pointed out, in the Philippines, putting up the money, kumbaga pagdating ng tuition, ng enrollment, yung maghahanap ka ng pambayad, finding that sum of money to pay upfront is really a curse. But baka naman kumanta ako ng Killing Me Softly with installments.
Hindi naman po. For example, we have spoken with our students, with our customers, and they share with us. I think we ask them, "Why do you go with us? Why do you choose us? Why do you choose us?" For example, one story was, she's a single mother, and she said, like, if I pay 10,000 a month in terms of what I'm making, I cannot afford that because I have to raise my child. But I choose Bukas because instead of paying 10,000 a month for my school, I pay 3,000 pesos a month, and I can afford that. So when I ask her, then what if I do? What if in the following semester you need to study again? Do you go back to your schooling and pay that large chunk? I said, she told us, no, we don't. I don't. I go back again to Bukas, so my installment now becomes roughly 3,000 to 5,000 a month instead of paying, let's say, 10,000 a month for the school, which is too heavy for me. And we see so many stories of similar cases such as that, especially like my experience before. Like, I come from a family of 8 siblings, and it's hard for parents to send multiple kids to college at the same time, especially from a monthly budget perspective. And that's the problem that we solve. It becomes more affordable for them for their respective cash flows per month. Education becomes more easier accessible for them. So instead of paying, let's say, imagine per kid, if you have, using the same example, 3 kids, for the installment, that's roughly 30,000 a month. But if you go with Bukas, you pay roughly in one semester just 9,000 a month for the next 12 months. But if, let's say, if you need another Bukas plan, you only pay a maximum of roughly 15 to 18,000 a month. So it becomes more accessible for the budget. Magaan sa bulsa para sa magulang at para sa bata. It's also helpful for the working student because we see that, scholarships benefit the 3 A's, yung tinatawag natin. 3 A's. First A is academically gifted. Second A is artistically talented. And third A is that yung mga athletes natin. Pero what about yung mga masisipag na estudyante? So this is also for them. We try to make it more affordable from a monthly budget perspective so that they can go to the school of their choice and graduate with a degree that will help them get the career of their dreams.
Okay, John, let's do a breakdown or something that, a better explanation of what you guys are doing. First, give us a picture of what is the average cost of tuition fees based on your research, and then how does this work out with a parent or someone who wants to go to school. Kumbaga, para malinaw, ito example, kwento ni John Bellosillo, para maintindihan ng guest, ng mga viewers natin.
So, the average, Cito, there's really a wide range. Because our partners are from, you'll be surprised, our partners are from as accessible, like as a FINMA Education and National Teachers College, to as expensive or to as upper tier price like an Enderon in the University of Asia and Pacific, right? So it might be, the range might be 20,000 a semester to $500,000 a semester. So the range is really wide. So what we do, for example, to make the math easier is let's say 100,000 pesos is the tuition of the student. Okay. And usually in a trimester school, you have to pay that in 3 months. So that's roughly 3,300 pesos plus fees if you pay straight to the school, or you have to pay them upfront. If you go to a semestral school, that's 4 to 5 months. So you have to pay roughly 20,000 pesos a month for 5 months. And that, what we've seen, other than, there are other non-factored costs of education, like costs to make your projects, the commute, the meals, the allowances for kids. And what we've seen is, instead of you paying the 20,000, 25,000 pesos in bulk, which will affect your family's budget and your other needs, why not go with Bukas? So you can pay roughly a bit less than half of that per month. So instead of paying 25,000 pesos, instead of paying 33,000 pesos a month, if you go with us for the next 12 months, you'll pay roughly 10,000 pesos a month. Then you're able to send your child to school and make sure that the home budget is not as affected.
Okay, now I have to ask this question because alam mo ako, basta installment, suspicioso na ako eh. Sasabihin sa'yo, credit card, 0 interest, buy now, tapos pag tinotal mo naman, pag kinompare mo naman yung presyo nung product versus paying cash, may patong na pala. Now, of course, you have carrying costs, you have administrative costs. What is the add-on factor of buhay to all of this on an annual basis?
So, in Bukas, we charge roughly 4.5% is the origination or the service fee, which is spread across the life of the loan, and roughly 1.9% interest a month. And we're very upfront with that. You'll see that in when you apply with us, or even before you apply, that these are the terms. And I mean, just a ballpark figure, because there might be some differences depending on the school, right? So annually, that's roughly maybe 27%, if I'm not mistaken.
27% per annum.
Yes, roughly, more or less.
Spread into 12 months.
Yes. But the good part here, Cito, like how we also do it is, in some installment plans or loans, that we can have make it lighter even for the parents if they're able to pay earlier. So we don't charge any pre-termination fee, and that amount may be lower if we can pay the full loan in a shorter time period.
Okay. So, kung tumama sa wedding, pwede magbayad ng mas maaga.
Or kung dumating po yung Christmas bonus or something like that.
I'm sorry, ladies and I do not condone, but that is the reality. When I am in Batangas, every day I see the wedding collector passing in front of me. So talagang reality. And so if they have the Christmas bonus, if they have a mid-year bonus, tumama sa wedding, or nakabenta ng baboy, they can actually go to John and say, Sir John, nakabenta po ako ng mga biik ko, babayaran ko na yung utang para bumaba.
Yes. And we're proud to say that we're one of the lowest, if not the lowest, for this particular case, for education tuition fees, installment plans, for student loans. We're one of the lowest, if not the lowest, already in the country today. So we want to make sure that our mission is, of course, to help the Filipino youth and empower them to help them succeed in life. That's why we try to make it as accessible as possible. And the good part here, Cito, is everything's all online. So you just apply, send your documents to us online using our portal, and we'll get back to you right away. So it's,
okay, how right away is right away, John? Because I mean, I won't take it against your company if you are really strict, because mahirap yung magpautang sa mga tao. In fact, biblically speaking, the Bible actually says, if you have the money, bigay mo na lang kesa sa maghahabol ka pa, problemahin mo pa yung pinautang mo. If you have the money and you can give it, because clearly, lending money is a very unpleasant undertaking, and it leads to a lot of issues. And how quickly do you process it? Or I mean, meron ba kayong parang ala Duterte 3, 7 or 21-day rule?
Yeah. So our response times are very fast. So the fastest, I mean, just to manage expectations, will be roughly 3 days. But there are times when we process it in less than 24 hours. So 1 to 3 business days is what we usually say, depending on, let's say, the quality of the documents that are given to us. If it's all clear, we can make a decision right away. But usually the time might take longer if we have some questions about their documents.
Okay.
But 1 to 3 days, roughly. 1 is a very good day. But for, let's say, repeat customers, it's even faster than that.
Okay, we'll go for a quick break, John. And when we come back, take me through the application process, the screening process, what is required from the would-be scholar, what is required from the parent, and also, what are the risks of, one day waking up and wala na yung company, because it has happened in the pre-need industry. We want to be sure that, we're talking about your company here. We want to make sure you're sticking around. Okay, we'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. Joining us this morning is the Executive Director of Buhay Finance Corporation, Mr. John Bellosillo. John, please clarify, are you strictly an education finance corporation or are you a multi-product finance corporation?
Right now, we only do education finance. So we finance your tuition fees, your miscellaneous fees. Usually, just basically the document that the school gives us. So when anything that has to do that needs to be processed and paid in school, we process that. So yun lang. We don't do gadgets. We don't do anything outside of things that have to do to help you with your learning. So that's the priority right now of the company.
Okay, so you are purely educational finance corporation. And okay, now take us through the process. You have a parent and a potential college student who want to apply. What are the requirements and what is the process?
The Bukas process is very easy. So you just go to www.bukas.ph. So go to our website and register online. And you submit your application along with, let's say, your ID, your tuition form, or your enrollment assessment form, your guardian or guarantor info, proof of income, and you wait for approval. So again, it might be as fast as 1 to 3 days. If there are, let's say, to complete the process, if there are questions, it may range from 3 to 5 days. So it's just easy. Everything you upload all online na.
Yeah, yung proof of income, John, because I know there are people who are domestic helpers who actually get good salaries and can afford to make those payments to Buhay Finance. Now, you have those who are formally employed, but you have the underground economy, you have those who are domestic helpers or etc. Without the usual formalities. How do you address that?
For domestic helpers, I actually processed myself once or a few times. Let's say the student's mom was working in the Middle East, and what she gave us was a contract of work.
Okay.
That she's employed here, she makes X amount of money, etc. So that's an alternative. So that we gladly accept. For those who are, let's say, non-formal, case to case, we accept certain key documents. Let's say from bank statements or bank statement equivalents. But again, it's a case to case. So we usually, of course, have a list in our website as to what are the documents that we want. But we also listen to the customer and try to understand what other possible alternatives or substitute documents that that the person and his or her parents can give.
Okay, now are there certain types of work status or jobs that don't make the cut? Because I know for a fact that there are security guards who have tenure and there are security guards because of the nature of the company or the owners of the agency. They are almost like transient guards. What about what jobs or what areas do you not cover as a safety measure?
Well, we don't discriminate based on the jobs. Our underwriting team process them regardless of whatever job the person has. What's important, of course, is to have as much documentation to validate, let's say, our questions like ID, to understand if this is a real person, and the tuition form, so that we can pay the school directly and we know the exact amount. Key information about the guardian or the guarantor, and various forms of proof of income. So regardless of job, if you have these, then we will process it. But of course, like what you also said, what you also mentioned earlier, to manage expectations, we cannot approve everybody, right? We
Correct.
get the documentation, so understand if what's the best help and if we can provide the help that is needed.
Okay, so what's your insurance as a company here? The school or the university is not supposed to release grades or transcripts unless buhay is paid?
So for Bukas,
Ay,
we
sorry,
don't-
sorry. So for bukas, buhay ako ng buhay.
for Bukas, it's we don't do anything like that, in the sense that when you apply with us, we disburse straight to the school. Let's say that 100 pesos you borrow or you get from us as an installment plan, we pay that to the school and you pay us. So there's no in the 12 months or early or
Oh,
earlier.
pero what happens if the parent student is unable to make the payments or there's a lapse? Let's say for a 12-month contract, they're running low for 2 or 3 months. What is your insurance that at some point in time you will be able to collect? Because it's what hospitals do. Hospitals don't release the patient. Schools don't release the, sorry, no, I'm just talking
Yeah.
reality here, John. You know, schools won't release your, ano ba tawag mo dun, yung, your sheet or your envelope that contains all of your school records.
So I may be a bit ideal here. In Bukas, let's say we bet on the student. We trust the student that they will be able to pay us back. Of course, we do consistent follow-ups, always in a friendly, in a respectful manner. And we do our best to maintain that standard because we're catering to students and their futures, right?
Yeah.
So it's constant friendly follow-ups, trying to understand how we can best or how can they can best repay their obligations and things like that. It's really our approach is to really constantly build that connection and relationship with our plan holders or tuition fee installment plans, those who have them, and figure out how they can repay us or repay so that we can help the other students, because they know that with Bukas, I think the insurance there is, it's hard for them to continue with their school because we're already the most affordable option for their budget, right? So it's hard for them to continue if they're not able to fulfill those obligations. Second is they also know it's also a mission-driven organization. Like what we do is we always tell them, like, when you, let's say, pay your tuition fee installments with us, it is also an opportunity for us to help more students like you, more people who have the same circumstances. And so far, those things have helped us.
Okay, so that's good to know. And thank you, Gab, for reminding me it's called transcript of records. sa tagal kong hindi nakatungtong sa universidad, hindi ko na alam kung anong tawag doon. Transcript of records. Anyway, but what about on the side of universities? Because, as a journalist, I often come across stories, reports of just fly-by-night schools, tutorial facilities, etc. How does Bukas manage to filter out or ensure that the student is enrolled in a genuine, real McCoy school? And not a fly-by-night. And, pareho kayong sunog nun. You've given money to a school and then the student doesn't get to finish.
So we're very thorough with the research that we do about the schools. So let's say we also cater to and support non-degree schools. For those non-degree schools, as an example, we really look at their employability rates. What is the speed of employment that you provide people who graduate from your boot camp? Which companies do they go to? How much is your average monthly wage? And these are the questions that we constantly ask our partner schools. We also do research about them. Where do your graduates go? How are their careers? we look at quality markers and reputation markers like maybe accreditation. Of course, if they track their graduate tracers, then do a graduate tracers, look at their graduate tracer study. We look at also the quality of the people who are behind a particular company. Who's their board? Who's their leadership? And what's their track record? So at Bukas, be assured that the schools that we partner with are only the best for your future, because we are very, very thorough in making sure that they meet the standards of quality that will help you succeed in life. So
Okay.
that's more personal for me. So I'm very
Yeah.
thorough in looking at who we partner with and what good.
Well,
can
no, that's
help.
very important. That's a key concern, and it's good. It's a good platform to stand on. Now, who monitors, regulates companies like Bukas? And there's a reason I'm asking this.
Of course, for non-banking financing companies, is really the SEC.
Okay. And now, what guarantees or insurance do you have? Because as a journalist, I have been told that one of the reasons why the pre-need industry fell apart was because of predatory corporations and politicians who were so envious of successful companies that they tried to push them against the wall by making impositions in connection with, buy-ins or hostile takeover. Because clearly, talking to you, we have a good business model here. It has a very strong social responsibility component. And I think, based on what I've also heard, Filipinos, given the chance, turn out to be good debtors and pay their obligations responsibly. But, all of that, when you put it together, could be a cake of or a very delicious cake of success that greedy politicians or hostile corporations might want to take over. What insurance do you have, or what protection do you have that can make you sleep peacefully?
The good thing to note is we are a multinational company in the sense that Bukas is the brand, Erudify is our mother company. We're backed by Mongsil Venture Capital and Qualgrow, which are two of the top venture capital companies in Southeast Asia. And we're also a Y Combinator company. So meaning to say, we've encountered a lot of filtering processes. We have ample capital to deploy, and we're focused on the mission. So I think with that, with the right team, with the right resources, it helps us keep our focus on not on growth for growth's sake, but service that is sustainable for our clients and our partners.
Okay, and what are your projections for the coming future? Let's say 4 or 8 year term, because that's when college degrees are completed. In the 4 or 8 year term, where do you see Bukas?
I see Bukas in every part of the country, focusing on solving the problem of access to quality education and making sure that our students have really good education and eventually get good jobs. So it's really presence everywhere, increasing the number of partners that we have, and maybe providing other bridges to other education concerns. So really focused on education.
Okay, so for those who are watching and would like to learn more about Bukas, where can they go?
Just go to our website at www.bukas.ph. Everything about Bukas is there, from our school partners to our rates, or the range of our rates, to what you need to do or what you need to know when you have an application and all that. And happy to help in whatever way.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time today, John Bellosillo, and thank you for sharing with us the mission vision of Bukas Finance Corporation. God bless your work, John.
Thank you and have a great day.
Okay, that's Mr. John Bellosillo, Executive Director of Bukas Finance Corporation. Let's now go to our closing exhortation for those of you who are worrying about where your next provision will come. Always turn to the Lord. From Ephesians chapter 3 verses 20 to 21, now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask or think, according to the power at work within us. To him be glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen. Okay. Please express your gratitude to the Lord. Always be thankful for what you have, and enjoy. Always rejoice. Okay. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us this morning. Please keep it here on One News.